Hi, welcome to Kerith Community Church. My name is Amy, this is Jonathan, and we are so pleased to welcome you to Sight Sunday.
Today you are with us at Blackwater Valley. Kerith is made up of 4 sites: Bracknell, Windsor, West White and Blackwater Valley. And I know I'm biased, but it's never been a more exciting time to be part of the Blackwater Valley site.
If you're new and want to connect with us, click on the Connect With Us link, fill out the form and one of the team will be in touch.
Alternatively, we have a monthly New to Kerith Zoom event that takes place on the first Sunday of every month, straight after the online meeting. If you'd like to join, go to the website kerith.church for more information and to sign up.
As Jonathan said, it's never been a more exciting time to be here. So today our site pastor Jackie Webber-Gant is going to be speaking to us about the new building in Farnborough called Caroline House and the opportunities we all have to contribute. Whether it's financially or through time and skills, whatever you have to offer, there'll be many opportunities to help.
At the moment, we cannot get access to the Village Hotel where we used to meet, or the new building just yet. So as the weather starts to improve, why not hold a watch event in your garden with friends and family, or get together with others from our community for a walk, picnic, or even the pub?
And for those of you who are keen to see our new building, we will be arranging guided tours of Caroline House, initially for the volunteer teams and then for more people as the restrictions are lifted. So look out for more to come on that shortly. We also wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who gives their money into the life of the church. We believe that our money belongs to God, so giving is a way for us to be obedient to Him and to bless others. If you'd like to give, the easiest way is to give via our website on the giving page. Also remember, there's no obligation to give, so please don't feel that you have to.
Today, our Blackwater Valley site pastor, Jackie Webber-Gant, is going to be preaching from Isaiah 48 and sharing vision for the new building in Farnborough.
And as we listen to Jackie this morning, please pray and think about the opportunities to contribute towards the refurbishment plans we're going to hear about. A dedicated fund for Caroline House is going to be set up on the giving page of the website, so you'll be able to contribute to that fund directly.
So straight after this, there's going to be a 30-second break. Let's prepare ourselves to be expectant to hear from God, open our hearts for the Holy Spirit to challenge us as we enter this new and exciting phase as a community.
So enjoy the rest of the meeting and we hope you have a great Sunday.
Welcome. This week, each of our Kerith sites are having their own site pastor bring a message, what God's word is for us this week and at this time. So my name's Jackie and I have been the site pastor for the last year whilst we've been gathering digitally and worshipping together. And I just have a sense that God has a specific word for us in Kerith BV, Kerith Farnborough today. So I'm going to be taking my message from the book of Isaiah, and that's in the Old Testament. It sits right in the middle of the Bible, and scholars would say it's a prophetic text. So a prophet is someone who speaks from God. He speaks on behalf of God, or she, and a prophet will reveal God's thoughts and God's specific word, and it's a word for now and also a word for the future. And so we're going to be hearing from Isaiah, the word that's for us at this time. So God actually reveals his thoughts, his judgments, his plans, his purposes for his people. But you know, Old Testament prophets were not always welcomed because they had some hard-hitting messages to bring that were not easy to hear. The book of Isaiah is actually in 3 quite distinct sections which reflect the historical time. And those 3 sections are about the people going into exile, which was God's judgment on them for leaving his law and his ways. There's a middle bit which I'll be speaking on, which is when they're in exile and God comes and confronts them, but also brings consolidation and consolation and a sense of, I'm going to use this for your good. And then the last part we'll probably know well, which is actually their exodus out of exile and the promise for the future. And there's much talk in that about a coming Messiah. So the passage I'll read is going to be from the middle part, from Isaiah 48. The people are exiled in Babylon. They've been taken captive. They've been stripped of their king, their land, their wealth, their homes, their culture, and the very centre of their world, the temple. The Israelites that survived the invasion were deported and they were made to be slaves. They were living under an oppressive regime that wanted to dominate them and perpetuate its own culture and religion and subjugate these people. Well, when you're caught in such circumstances, you just want to survive. You're powerless. You're suffering trauma and loss. You've lost control over your whole life. You're living in an alien culture where the language and the customs are strange. Think right now of the Rohingya people. Think of Syrians. Think of Yemenis. There are hundreds of thousands of displaced people living in refugee camps in the world right now. They are victims of civil wars or religious persecution. When you're a hostage, when you're a refugee, you're in a very pressing situation and you keep silent. You don't want to make any more trouble for yourself than you're in already. So you need someone outside of your situation to bring to others' attention your plight and your needs, because you've got limited agency and opportunity to escape or do anything about your circumstances. So when you're in that situation, you just fit in. You keep your head down and you assimilate. So the people of Israel, they're in exile, they're outside of their land, and this is what they felt. They felt forgotten and abandoned by God. And it says in Isaiah 40, "Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right disregarded by my God?" And in chapter 49, "But Zion said, the Lord has forsaken me. My Lord has forgotten me." We've heard recently how we can bring our raw, unfiltered words to God. Lament is part of the normal Christian life. We can tell God our disappointments, our pain, our agony. Sometimes we do feel neglected and overlooked. And let's think about our current world situation. Has God been silent and absent for you in this wilderness? Have you felt that you've been taken hostage, that you're in exile? This virus has affected you. The state has placed you in a different sort of shutdown and exile. Well, God knows our despair and our misery. He's not abandoned us, and he hadn't abandoned his own people. But God's plans are not always what we expect, and they can surprise us. So I think the Israelites were really looking for a savior, for somebody to rescue them. Hey, somebody like Moses, who'd already rescued them from Egypt. Maybe to open a sea and come to their rescue. Or King David, to come with his troops and his armies and his weapons and fight and liberate them. But no, God had another plan. God had chosen the leader of another powerful emerging empire to liberate his people. It's not the solution that they would even see as a rescue. It looked like further suffering from another oppressor, another aggressor coming to take control of their lives. But behind the scenes, hidden away, God is raising up what Isaiah calls the Iranian bird of prey. He's called Cyrus, and he is going to come in and defeat the Babylonian Empire. And Cyrus's foreign policy was to allow the repatriation of captives and grant them resettlement back into their land. So this remnant of people just hanging on were able to go back to Israel. And not only that, but he would even send funds for the rebuilding of their temple. Would they believe that? So Isaiah is sent into this situation as a prophet. Now, prophets break the silence. They're not seduced by the culture. They keep hope alive. They're not paralyzed by what they experience. They're not just newscasters that are dispassionately giving a commentary on what's happening. No, these are visionaries, people called of God, passionate and alive with the word, and fueled by big dreams of what is possible. Their imagination is inspired by God, and they speak and break the silence, and they bring God's very special promises. And you know, often prophets have to shake people out of complacency and wake them up. And Isaiah spoke to the people when they were worn down with negativity and despair. He wanted them to see that God was active, and otherwise they would have just missed it. So here's some verses, and I'm just coming to the main verse I want to focus on. It says in Isaiah 43, I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? He's saying, look at what God's going to do. You know, we need to be a people who are ready to recognize where God is at work. And God does shatter our silence with his words. And this is the verse I want to bring us, which has been with me all year. It's from Isaiah 48, verses 6 to 7. From now on, I will tell you of new things, of hidden things, unknown to you. They're created now, not long ago. You have not heard of them before today, so you cannot say, yes, I knew of them. So the immediate situation is that God has a surprising strategy to rescue his people. He's sending this powerful leader to defeat the Babylonians. But this strategy has been hidden and concealed by God to his people, but it's revealed to those who are attentive. And there's one other person that also gets to hear God's plans. And this is a contemporary of Isaiah called Daniel. And he works in the royal court. And he speaks through visions and dreams. And he actually speaks to King Nebuchadnezzar. And this is what it says in Daniel 2. Praise be to the name of the Lord forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises others up. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. So God knows the future. He's able to change history. He has the power to depose and to raise others up. You know, I don't know about you, but I find it hard not knowing being in the dark. We live in the world of instant information, and so it's quite hard. But you know, God keeps things hidden so that we seek him, and so we recognize his hand at work. You know, a year ago, I was waiting in the dark. I was looking to finish my involvement with a company I'd run for 14 years with 2 other directors. We had pursued selling our company, and we found a buyer that was an excellent fit. It seemed an ideal solution. But then my fellow directors backed down. It seemed impossible for me to leave well. For months and months, I prayed and I waited. But the solution came in an unexpected and surprising way. The rejected offer became the basis of the valuation of our company, and I was able to sell my shares. You see, I could never have imagined that the upset of a lost sale could be the solution for my exit. But the wait was worth the outcome. From now on, I will tell you of new things, of hidden things unknown to you. They're created now, not long ago. In 2018, God gave Kerith a word that we launched the year with. And it was also from Isaiah, chapter 54. Enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes. For you will spread out to the right and to the left. Your descendants will dispossess nations and settle their desolate cities. Now, I returned to these words as we were anticipating moving out of Kerith Sandhurst into the Farnborough Village Hotel. And I felt God distinctly say that it was going to be a tent, a temporary dwelling, that the hotel was not for good. And also I felt that, you know, we were going to stretch out into the community and we were not to hold back. And God gave me a picture of mangroves. Now, these are trees that protect shorelines. And mangroves are amazing because they take salt water and they make it fresh. They absorb all the salt. And they create an amazing habitat for ecosystems in the water and in these small trees. And biodiversity flourishes. And I felt that God gave me that as a word for the plans that he had for us to bless our community in Farnborough and the Blackwater Valley. And you know, we've partially fulfilled that. We've occupied that village hotel for 4 hours on a Sunday. We've been serving people through our CAP debt recovery service, through life skills, through job club. We've been remote. And of course, recently we've just been online, but we've not had a 24/7 presence or home in Farnborough and the Blackwater Valley area. But you know, God was working for us in the background. Last month, he provided us with a building to be the permanent home for Kerith Farnborough. And yes, we're going to launch with a new name. We now have a place to inhabit. Caroline House was abandoned since 2016. And in that Isaiah 54, it says, you will settle their desolate cities. According to the property agent, the property was forgotten. It was owned by a large pension fund, but it wasn't forgotten by God because he knew it was there and at the right time it would be available. And a new executive was going through their holdings and decided to sell. The owners wanted a quick sale to avoid any protracted negotiations. And so we found it just as it was being prepared for auction. So Gary Scull, our ops manager, was right there as the auctioneer took photographs and saw the climbing frame in the middle of it. This was not some open warehouse waiting for forklift trucks to go in with their product. No, this was a centre that had been used for families, where lots of fun and love had gone on. But it was desolate. What were left is the play equipment, party rooms, murals all over the walls, and pink and purple everywhere. It even had D2 planning permission, so it's close to the planning consent that we need to make use of it. The central area is perfect for our Sunday gatherings. Then there's other rooms that we can transform and repurpose for different ministries. You know, initially our trustees were really hesitant to be involved in an auction because you're buying a property as is in a competitive environment. However, it was clear right from the start that the only way we would actually get that property would be through the auction. A group of key leaders gathered there and spent the morning walking around, inspecting the site, thinking, dreaming. And then we went outside, and I reminded everybody that Simon was about to preach from Joshua 1. I will give you every place you set your feet. Our feet had been right across that building in every room. And we stood outside and prayed that prayer and claimed that place, that God would give us every place that we'd set our feet. You know, the location is central. It's in the commercial heart of the town. It's also parallel to two large housing areas with immediate footpaths into the housing closes. The purchase of the property was unusual in that it was rapid, but God had hidden this building away and kept it for us. You know, if our trustees had heard a year ago that we'd be buying a property on auction, I don't think they would have been really imagining that. But God had that sale in mind. You know, the month before, a lot of work went into arranging a valuation, setting up a mortgage at short notice, considering change of use, thinking about tax implications, thinking through parking, and estimating the initial refurbishment costs. But, you know, we felt that God was leading us step by step. The land tax and VAT, it turns out we were exempt, and we were able to get a mortgage with the Christian Stewardship Organisation, and we had sufficient immediate funds to be able to proceed with the deposit. So the actual auction itself was what I would call eBay on steroids. You know, we had agreed a price, and that was agreed way before. And right towards the end, our proxy bid went in. And right at the end, another buyer came in and chased us. But, you know, we secured that with just a few £1,000 spare. So, could the Israelites have imagined what God was going to do? Could we have imagined what God was going to provide for us? Well, from now on, I will tell you of new things, hidden things unknown to you. And it's just such an adventure that we've been through. So for us now, it's not the time to hold back. God is now, he's brought us, like Joshua, onto the threshold to enter the land. And we're coming out of our own wilderness. And so our leaders have positioned us so well, and now it's our opportunity to get active. This building needs to be transformed. It's been neglected through disuse and some minor vandalism, but you know, every one of us can take part in this new and wonderful thing that God has done for us. So let's hear from some of our ministry leaders on their first day viewing the building and their dreams for what God is going to do in this place.
Hey, I'm Callum. I head up production at Kerith, and here we are standing in Caroline House, the new space for Kerith Farnborough. We are so excited to be making plans here for our Sundays, for midweek gatherings, for broadcasts that will go all over the UK and wider. We can't wait to get our production teams in here to see the space and to welcome new people onto our team as we serve the area of Farnborough in this new location that you can see behind us. So you can see behind me, we are standing in what will be our new auditorium. Once the soft play goes, stage will be over that side somewhere, tech desk down this side somewhere. But yeah, great space that will seat a couple of hundred people on a Sunday, and yeah, we just can't wait to see this space filled with people and the sound of worship.
Hi, I'm Shari, the worship lead here at Kerith, and it's so exciting to be here at Kerith Farnborough. I'm just excited that we're going to have our own rehearsal space, a space to come and worship together, and I'm so excited that soon we're going to hear songs of praise and songs of joy filling this building and being alive to the community.
Hey, I'm Sonia and I'm the families leader at Kerith, and I'm so excited to be here in our new building in Farnborough. So I'm just really excited what's going to take place here for families. This has been a place for a long time where families have come and had joyful, fun experiences when it was a soft play. Well, they're going to have joyful, fun experiences with the Lord and in community with us. People are going to maybe come back who came here as children and maybe bring their own families here. And I'm just really excited at the potential of what this place is going to do, both on Sundays and midweek for families in and around Farnborough.
As the engagement team at Kerith, we are really excited to see this space, and we can just envision all the people that are going to come through the doors and come and just experience Jesus here. So it's really exciting. We're deciding where we're going to put cafes, where we're going to put chairs for people on Sundays, how we're going to get the flow through the building. So it's going to be a massive space. It's going to be brilliant for bringing people to get to know Jesus.
Hi, I'm Andy, and I can't wait until we can transform this amazing space into a place where we can invite the local community in. We've got so many different ministries and projects, a part of all our social justice and revive work, and our heart is really to make a big difference in this community in Farnborough and really make an impact into the local area.
So we're at Caroline House in Farnborough, our new building for Kerith Farnborough, Kerith BV. And we are so excited to be here, just dreaming and planning and praying, thinking through what this space could be and what God might want to do with this building and this venue. And we would love for all of you to partner with us. So firstly, you can pray. You can pray for wisdom, pray for God's guidance. We want Him to show us how to use this space, how to use this building to bless the area. Secondly, you can give your time. Perhaps you've got specific skills that will help transform this place. Then please get in contact with us and let us know what you can do. Perhaps you've got contacts that could guide us. You've got ideas, you've got skills. Do bring those. And then lastly, you can give your finance as well. We can all invest our resources into transforming this place to just bring God's kingdom to the area. And so I really encourage you, this isn't just going to be one team of people transforming Caroline House into our home, into our venue. This is going to be all of us together, and each of us can play a part. So do get involved.